So these are the sounds of the Zilker Botanical Garden. The garden is an island of tranquility. It's just south of downtown. It features streams, waterfalls, and ponds. And in these ponds, you find colorful, contented koi fish.
Yeah, they're beautiful. If you see them in the light, sometimes they're just like so shimmery and shiny. It's really cool.
And this is Rin Chang, our question asker. Rin has fond memories of visiting the garden as a child, and especially of these koi, which can get really big.
I think there's something really magical about being a small child, and then you look down in the water and there's a fish that's just as big as you.
But Rin also remembers a strange crime that happened at the garden. A crime largely forgotten in local history, but one that punctured the tranquility of this peaceful place. It's an event that we will call the Great Koi Heist of 2010. I mean, it really happened, right? And Rin wants to know more.
Just imagining a fish heist is so crazy and awesome. It would be so cool to know, like, what went down.
Now, I had never heard of this, but once I learned about the fish heist, I gotta say, I was hooked, right? Yeah, there's more where that came from. So I asked the Parks Department and the nonprofit that runs the gardens if there was anyone who could tell me more about this, and they said there was not. But my luck changed when I found this guy. His name is Glenn Hubenthal, and he is the official historian of the Austin Pond Society. He's like the keeper of local pond lore.
Nowadays, you can research things, but sometimes the part that was made up is the best part.
Well, Glenn promises that all this is true, okay? Back in the summer of 2010, 13 koi fish disappeared from the garden's lotus pond. And Glenn says the fish that went missing, they weren't just like any koi. Some of them were like big, valuable specimens. They weighed up to 20 pounds each. And 2 of them were particularly beloved at the garden. These fish had names.
One of them was Ralph, and the other one was Oprah.
Yeah, Ralph and Oprah. And Glenn says when fish like these go missing, it's actually not usually because a person takes them. Herons love koi fish. So do raccoons.
They only eat them like halfway, and then they take off.
Otters eat them. Snakes eat them. Sorry, people. In fact, you hear Glenn talk about this, it almost sounds like there's very little difference between keeping koi and feeding wildlife.
I choose not to name our fish.
Don't get too attached.
That's right.
But when it came to the disappearance of Ralph and Oprah and the rest, the evidence showed a human hand was certainly at play. Workers at the garden, they found fishing nets abandoned near the pond. So they reported the theft to the police, and the case landed on the desk of APD detective Kevin Covington, now retired.
And I'll be honest with you, I was completely ignorant to koi fish, everything about it, didn't have a clue.
He says he learned in a hurry. So I asked him how. How, Kevin? How do you pull off a koi heist?
I know they had to bring coolers. 100% had to bring coolers.
That's because coolers are the preferred method of transporting koi.
I believe it was probably 2 or 3 guys. Because, I mean, you got to put some water in those coolers, and they're not light.
But now you got a group of guys with nets and coolers. How do they stay hidden? Here's Glenn Hubenthal.
In the area, there's an overabundance of bamboo.
All right, so you park your car there, hide in the bamboo forest, and the only thing between you and those precious koi is a fence.
I think like a normal privacy fence, 6, 7 feet high.
You can probably do an ice chest over it.
So from there, it's literally just a walk in the park, maybe 100 feet or so to the koi pond. You scoop the fish into a cooler, you head back through the bamboo forest, bada bing, bada boom. Heist complete.
I mean, I guess we're talking about how we would do it if we were taking them out.
I'm starting to wonder about this Glenn guy. I'm joking, of course. I'm totally joking. But you get the point, right? Whoever the thieves were, they must have known how to transport, store, and probably sell hot fish.
They had to have vast knowledge of the koi fish world.
So Detective Covington cast a wide net. He put Ralph and Oprah all over the local news.
The missing fish are large, 3 feet, even longer, and worth as much as $200.
Glenn, he remembers it well.
The word got out. If you've seen anybody in your neighborhood all of a sudden have a group of koi, just turn them in. You know?
Right. The city of Austin took this news very seriously.
I mean, it was got hundreds of phone calls. I mean, you'd have thought I was investigating a murder.
Covington says that most of the calls that he got were really not very helpful. But one did point to a certain individual, a man named Eric Philippus. He fit the profile. He was a frequent visitor to the gardens. He had worked for a company building water features and fish habitats. He had a pond in his own backyard. And according to tipsters, he had talked openly about having fish from the botanical gardens in his possession.
And I was like, ooh, okay.
Covington decided it was time to move in.
Can't remember what judge I went to for the search warrant, but he just looked at me and goes, koi fish, Kev?
So the judge signed the warrants, and on the morning of July 15th, 2010, the police arrived at Eric Philippus's Del Valley home. Now, we just heard how, like Austinites, the whole city reacted to the koi heist almost like it was a murder. But from what happened next, it sounds kind of like the cops did too. This story was told to me by Ted Philippus. He's one of Eric's sons.
They ended up, early in the morning, kicked the door in, the door jams, busted.
He says his dad wasn't even there when the police showed up, just one of the kids and a girlfriend. Still, the police turned the place upside down.
Going through toolboxes, took dishes out of cabinets, even places where fish couldn't be kept.
Come on. They questioned the teenagers aggressively, apparently with guns drawn.
Just trying to incite anger or maybe get them to say something that could incriminate themselves.
All over some fish.
Like a non-violent crime,
But did they find anything?
We didn't find the koi fish. That kind of upset me a little bit.
Yeah, you can probably guess who else it upset. Ted says the experience kind of traumatized his family. Plus, they had to pay to replace the door.
They have the ability with very little information to do this to you, to anybody.
So when I asked Kevin Covington if officers had maybe gone a little overboard on this one, he said he didn't think so. They got a good tip and they acted on it.
Be it fish, be it a kidnapped child. Two different things there. Still got something stolen, and I believe it's in that house.
Okay. And, he still thinks they had the right guy. Eric Philippus, the suspect, he did not want to talk to me for this story after so many years. But after the raid, he did go to reporters, saying that there had been a misunderstanding. He told them that he had once been gifted some koi by a worker at the Botanical Gardens. That does happen, I should say. When the ponds become overpopulated with baby fish, they sometimes just give them out. So anyway, Eric says he tells other people about his garden koi fish. Those people hear about the koi heist, and then they give his name to police.
I have nothing to do with any disappearing koi, stolen koi, whatever, and I know nothing whatsoever about it.
His son, says the police never even took Eric in for questioning after they left his house, fishless. Now, we learned earlier how animals love eating koi fish. But in the course of researching and reporting on this story, I learned something else. People really love stealing them. It happens all the time. Last year, 85 were taken from a Mexican restaurant pond in LA. The year before, 70 fish were scooped from a pond in Staffordshire, England. In 2023, a prize koi named Homer was swiped from a Minnesota pond supply shop. That guy, he didn't even have a cooler. Amateur. Case after case after case after case. You find often that in these cases, they actually involve two separate crimes. The first crime is committed by the thieves, and the second crime is committed by the reporters and the headline writers. I mean, koi polloi? You kidding me? We just can't help ourselves, right? Sometimes the thefts are solved, but usually the thieves get away and the fish are never found. That was the case with Ralph, Oprah, and the rest. You could say the scales of justice never saw balance. Yeah, you love it. Everyone has their theories. Glenn and Ted think the koi were probably sold on the underground fish market. Kevin Covington, he thinks that once the heat was on, maybe the thieves just dumped the fish somewhere to hide the evidence. Maybe he says Lady Bird Lake. Now, one interesting thing about koi, they can live for decades. So technically, these fish could still be out there.
Man, they were pretty big then. If they're still alive today, bro, they're monsters.
Yeah. I found two possible endings to this story. The first is not a happy one, I gotta warn you. I found it in the archives of the Austin History Center, a single newscast that ran weeks after the robbery.
Hi there, Jim. Well, what appears to be a dead koi was found inside a dumpster behind this liquor store.
Rancid, rank, it's horrible.
I even tracked this guy down. He said he remembered more than one koi fish in the bag. Yeah, a tragic ending for sure. But if you don't like that, there's reason to think that it might not be the whole story. That maybe in fact, Ralph and Oprah did not sleep with the fishes. And it comes from a woman named Callie Eubanks. Callie is an avid angler here in Austin. She loves fishing Lady Bird Lake at this special spot with her husband and her brother. And she says, one spring, a couple years ago, something really crazy happened.
All of a sudden, like, my pole went from standing straight up and its like rod holder to just bent over, so you just hear the real screeching.
She had caught a monster.
And I'm reeling it in and I'm reeling it in. I know it's something huge. I just don't know what.
So as she's reeling, she sees flashes of orange, sees flashes of white, and then she just starts screaming.
Oh my gosh, I think it's a koi fish.
She says once the fish was in shallow water, it seemed unusually calm and seemed friendly even. Right? She took this one picture, and then she quickly returned it to the lake.
I've released tons of other fish, and they always dart off and swim off super quick, and this one just kind of, I don't know, it's like it knew what its reputation was, that it's like a slow, peaceful, beautiful creature.
Oprah? Is that you? Thank you.